of water in the city of Bengaluru. How the government is going to address, despite there are many orders which has been passed saying that water should be used for drinking purpose, not for construction, not for swimming pool. These are being violated. These orders have been violated by many people.
No. I mean, see, we are facing drought, a severe drought, never in the history which we have faced. So that's a fact. Despite that, the government has said we are competent enough to take care of the water crisis in the city. We have not asked for any activity to be stopped. The construction activity, whether it is for the swimming pool, for the drinking water purpose, potable purpose, whatever it is. We have said all the activities will go on. It is the responsibility of the government to supply the water. So unnecessary controversy is being created by our BJP friends. But government is competent enough to manage the water crisis. This much I can say.
Especially the water tankers in areas like you don't have cauvery water supply, you don't have groundwater. There the water tankers are supplying waters. So in those places there are restrictions saying that you should not use those water tankers for construction purpose and all those things.
See, earlier there was no regulation. The water tankers would be hired by somebody, they would transfer water, they would charge as much as they want, and there was no registered a proper system where the government would recognize which water tankers. It would be registered, allotted to certain area for that purpose. So now we have registered more than 1,500 water tankers. They are in the ambit of the government. We have fixed the price, that this is the price which you would charge, not more than this. And these are the water tankers for these purposes.
But we did a reality check. We saw that people are still paying more than what has been mentioned by the government in the orders. People are spending close to 3,000 for a single tanker of water, but still they are not getting on time. There's an increasing tanker mafia in many places, especially in IT corridor.
Last so many years, they have been left freely to fleece the people. We have started this initiative. It will take a little more time. So we will bring everybody in the ambit of law. We will regularize everything. So it is the responsibility of the government to supply water. We are competent enough to supply water. Cauvery fifth stage, which we started earlier when we were in government, will be commissioned May end. Till then, that will be a relief for 110 villages surrounding, which are part of BBMP, which has been added to the city. And it is the responsibility of the government, and we will take care of the water crisis. We are competent enough.
As the city of Bengaluru is grappling due to scarcity of water, despite government measure to control water tank mafia as well as water supply, but still there seem to be no solution for the people of Bengaluru. We have also done a report on how water tank is working in the city of Bengaluru. Let us speak to a few people who are victims of water tank as well as water supply in the city. Sir, how difficult it is for you to get a single tank of water from a private water tank supplier?
Prices are really very high. BBMP promised that it will be paying, we have to pay 600 rupees or 800 rupees and buy the tanker, which is not yet been fulfilled. But we are paying almost 1,500 to 2,000 rupees per and it is not on time. Earlier we used to get water from other resources here, which association is given as the borewell, where everybody is to get the water. Now I don't think so. BBMP has not kept their promise, or in other words to say, they have to speed up because of this crisis. Everybody cannot afford so much of a big money. It is not affordable. Like 600, 500 it can be okay, but this is a very, very huge amount.
Ma'am, if you notice that groundwater is a main source of many residential areas, and there are private water tankers who drill borewell up to 1,800 to 2,000 feet so that they get more water, and the residents had to struggle who have drilled only around 500 to 700 feet of borewells, because all the water goes to the tankers and indirectly you're paying the same for the same water that you are supposed to get free of cost.
That's the thing happened to the house that I'm living in. My owners have drilled the borewell. They were getting water in past 8 years. And once the neighborhood, which is a convention hall, they dug, and the others, whatever the nearest sources, people started using borewell, which went more than 1,000 feet down. This went dry and she had to shut down. And we are totally dependent on the supply what the common residents gets. Now, I understand every time we have come during March, February, not February exactly, March, April, May is a crisis, we understand. But it was affordable that we could buy. It's around 500-600 rupees is fair enough. We need water for 1 week, at least one tanker we need, because the limited sources that we use, 1 week once we have to buy water. And 1,500 or 1,700, we are neither the cream level people nor the below, poverty line people. We are in the middle. We are the only one who's sandwiched between the higher level and the lower level. Nobody comes to our step. They see the house, oh, they are very well to do. Fair enough. The same thing happened during the COVID. Nobody bothered us.
Absolutely. Middle class families are the families who are struggling. There is no problem for higher middle class and high class society people, but it is only the middle class who are suffering. Despite paying so much, do you get tankers on time?
Absolutely not. Tankers, we have to call them at least 7 to 8 times a day. And even though we do call them, they charge such high prices and the water comes maybe 3-4 days late. They say, Illa sir, ragatilla. Now we're not getting it, it's not available, and they just not. After we call them and we tell them, they said, okay, fine, we'll get it, but this is the price, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 rupees is the price. You agree? They might send it today or maybe tomorrow. But if you say, no, the price is too high, they stop answering your phone calls after that.
Ma'am, if you notice that there are restrictions imposed by Karnataka government saying that you should not use water for any other purpose apart from drinking. Do you think that has been followed across the city?
No, I mean, we're used to a very certain way of life. And we've not seen this issue before, right? I've been alive for 24 years. I've never known Bangalore to have this big of a water crisis. So no, we're not used to it. And we're a people of practice. What we are used to is what we do. We don't adjust well to new things. And I don't think many people will. But if this is the situation, I think everybody has to make concessions at some point, when it comes to like washing cars and all of that. But certain things will become very difficult. Certain families will find it even more difficult. And I don't know if there's a way for everybody to come out of this happy and content.
Okay. As she mentioned that people have to compromise. Do you think it's the same problem for you as well in the city?
Yes. Actually, the association water is coming, but it's not equally distributed. Like our next house, they're getting in full force, but it's not coming to us. Okay. So that way it should be, some association work has to be done. We are also calling water tanker.
Do you have sufficient water in your Kids Wonderland school, play school?
We don't have one tanker, 3 times. If you run the motor, it's finished. So just hardly 1 week we can run the show.
Is that true that schools are winding up early because they don't have sufficient water in the city?
No, not like that. It's going on, regular school is going on. And we cannot wind up because they're very small. Even though they're saying it should be like online, we cannot do online for small kids. So it has to run the show. Now summer camp is coming, summer holidays. If kids are at home, they will be watching mobile. So that way, if we see, we should run the show.
Okay, the voice is loud and clear in the city of Bengaluru, where people are struggling to get the water. Despite paying heavy prices, the tankers are not supplying water on time. Despite guidelines and norms issued to all the tankers and private players, but still the water is being supplied to many construction places, swimming pool and other places, which is not required at this point of time. We are at Balaji layout near Horamavu, where people are struggling to get water every single day. It is a tanker which is supplying water for all these people, as the borewells have dried up, and even the local panchayat water is not being supplied on time. Let us go and speak to people what they have to say, what are the problems that they are facing. Sir, what are the problems that you are facing here in Balaji layout?
All our water which is supplied by the BBMP is dried up. We are procuring water from the water tanker private, which is very costly. Starting from range, one tanker is costing around 600 to 1,200, 2,000 rupees. Yeah, it is, and it is irregular. It is if you book advance in 5 days, 6 days, then only water. It is, we can't expect when it comes.
Sir, how often do you get the water tanker here? If you book today, whether you get it on time?
देखिए 3 दिन के बाद वो ले आके डालते हैं पानी। 3 दिन पहले हम लोग जमा करना पड़ा है, क्या एडवांस बुकिंग करना पड़ता है, इसलिए लोगों को बहुत तकलीफ होता है। कृपया करके हम लोग को या सरकार देने दो, या जो सरकार का जो अभी जो स्कीम लेकर है टैंकर का, उसको जल्दी से लागू करने के लिए बोलिए, ताकि लोगों को तकलीफ ना होए। इसलिए हम सरकार से विनती करते हैं, कृपया करके हमको पानी का बंदोबस्त करने के लिए।
सर, बोरवेल का पानी आ रहा है आपके घर में? बोरवेल जो आपने
What is happening actually here in our layout is, we are not at all getting even a drop of water from our borewells. All the borewells got dried up. There is no water in the borewells. So at least alternatively we are expecting tankers. And the tanker mafia is very highly going on in our layout. Before 3 days we are booking the tanker, and they used to charge for 8,000 liters, they used to charge 1,600 before. Now they are charging 3,000, and day before yesterday they wanted more than 3,000. And after paying 3,000 also, they will not fill our sump with full 8,000 liters. Half that water they will keep in their own tank and they take it back.
Don't you check that, ma'am? While
I checked it, and I already spoke and I fought with the tankers people. Now, after fighting, no tanker is entering my house. This is the fact going on in the layout. I really request our government, our MLA and BBMP staff to do the necessity to get us water.
what is the problem that you are facing?
We are getting, somebody is getting water, somebody is not getting water. Tankers, because depends upon the tankers, depends upon the tanker who is running the tanker. That is the problem. Now MLA has promised one borewell. It is not at reach to us for drilling. So we are waiting for that one also. So we want to re-drill our one more borewell also. We are expecting the vehicle to come, sir.
If you notice, sir, in many residential areas there are also borewell which has been dug, and they have dug up to 2,000 feet. For normal residential area, you have to dig only around 700 to 500 in all your houses. Do you think that all these commercial borewells are extracting the waters of your house?
See, the commercial borewells, it may be there, but in our area there's no commercial borewell. But in our layout, we had 3 borewells. Out of 3 borewells, we were sufficiently having enough water till now. But now it is all dried up. All the 3 borewells are dried up. We requested the government, we requested our MLA, he has promised to drill a borewell, but still it's not been done yet. But today it's a very, very acute shortage of water. Everyone is suffering. And the people are, the tankers, they are charging 3,000 rupees, 3,500, whatever they feel like. Even though the government has brought certain rules and regulations regarding the rates and everything, but they're not obliging to that. In case we fight for that, they may not supply the water next time to us.
So that is a fear that everybody has. And if you notice, government has also issued a guideline saying that people should not use water for construction purpose. People should not use for swimming pool and other things except for drinking. How do you see this? Do you think the people are following this, especially construction and other places?
Sir, in our layout, we are strictly following it. We don't want to waste a single drop of water anywhere. That we are following. But the fundamental question is, why did our borewells dry out? Primary reason is we didn't get cauvery connection even till date here. Because of that, the only source of water for us is groundwater. How long can the groundwater be sustained? For how many years? It's been over 12 years now. We don't have cauvery connection. This is part of BBMP layout. We have a regular coverage here, but there is absolutely no cauvery connection here. When will we get cauvery connection? That's a primary question. If you had cauvery connection given to us 3 years back, we would not have the case as bad as today. 1,500 feet down, we don't have water. Primary reason, we have to depend on groundwater only. Because there is no cauvery water.
The more you extract, the more you don't get water in the days to come. And this is the plight of the people here in Balaji layout, where they are demanding that the government should address the issue and also try to bring cauvery water as soon as possible, as people are struggling for drinking water in the area.